distribution system is very different here in Japan. Hello, my name is Greg Story. I'm the president of Carnegie Trading and the best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. It is Golden Week. We are all on holidays. I'm not in the office. I'm not in a suit. I'm not in a tie. We're at the High Performance Center Annex in the library, the Annex. I'm just doing a few videos on doing business in Japan. I've had requests to do a little bit more general content than the usually very, very specific content that I cover. And if you look at our Japan Carnegie TV channel, you'll see some of the other things I cover, which are very, very niche. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the distribution system in Japan. So it's amazing to me. I spent 12 years in the trade business helping Australian companies crack the Japanese market. It was amazing to me how many people I met, not just Australians, but how many people I met who had established a distribution relationship in Japan because they had sat next to a person on a plane. They happened by pure accident to meet a Japanese business person on a plane, and then from that they actually got this business relationship going, this distribution relationship going. That is the poorest form of due diligence I've ever heard. If you are thinking about distributing in Japan, do not do it such a random fashion. I don't care who you met on the plane. That's one possibility. Find others. Now, just about every country has a trade promotion organization. They'll have trade promotion staff within their embassies in Japan. And these organizations are often staffed with people who are very knowledgeable about Japan and can introduce you to companies and do a due diligence search with you to find the right distributor. Now, JETRO, the Japan External Trade Organization, is also tasked to do the same thing. And they, again, as a very neutral player, they will give you a list of companies who are importers that you can go and talk to. And so I really urge you, don't pick the guy who's sitting next to you or the gal who's sitting next to you on the plane. Do better due diligence than that. So the first thing is choose your partner very, very carefully. And do not ever, ever, ever get into an exclusive distribution relationship unless there are milestones and targets to be achieved in that agreement. I've seen companies sign off the rights to the distribution in Japan to a partner and then be shelved. The partner has signed them because they want to basically put them into hibernation, put them on ice, so that they won't compete with the distributor's existing product lineup from another company. They don't want you to disrupt the market. So they'll just park you there and you've signed the document, you are stuck. So only go for exclusivity if and when you can have achievement goals of volumes and timelines attached to that. Be very careful. Now, the temptation there is, oh, this big Japanese player is going to distribute our product or service and we're all going to be rich because they're so big. They didn't get big by accident. They got big by really being a hard-nosed company with all the suppliers, including you, and they'll do it to you too. So you've got to have some balance there. Now, there are many, many, many companies in Japan. If you don't crack the big guys, you look for something else. The regional cities are major economies in their own right. So it doesn't always have to be centered in Tokyo. You can get out of Tokyo. You can find regional distributors who are large, who are very large. Now, I said previously, I'm Australian, coming out of Australia, so the size of companies aren't so large there, the volumes aren't so large there for a lot of goods. So, realistically, it's more like a boutique arrangement in Japanese terms, in terms of the volumes. So you can find the equivalent smaller players on the Japan side who may not be in Tokyo, but will still sell your product in Japan. So it doesn't have to be Tokyo, and they don't have to be big players. And this is why I say get help. There are government trade promotion organizations. There's a Japanese government trade promotion organization. There are companies who work as brokers, who work as consultants to help you. Pay the money. You're going to be here for the long term. Trust me. Pay the money and get the right partner because it'll save you so much heartache over the long term. And, we've seen in the last probably 20 years a lot of distribution arrangements for luxury clothing products and jewelry products unwind, where the companies came in through a distributor. Now they've bought the business back because they want to run the business in Japan themselves. They don't want to go through a distributor. They want to have their own staff in store. They want to have their own managers and have more control of what's going on. And that's the thing you've got to understand. When you're in the distribution arrangement in Japan, you have very little control of what they're doing with your product, around the pricing, how it's presented, how the brand's looked at. Very little control over that. So you want to think about that. If you're a very small player, you have no choice. You've got to go with that. But if you've got the wherewithal, if you've got the capacity to do it yourself, you might want to have a look at that, because the controls that will come with that are quite large compared to when you hand the reins over to the Japanese side. And, you know, remember, when you're dealing with the Japanese distributor, their staff, their sales staff, they've got a huge range of products to sell across a whole range of companies apart from you. So you really have to spend some time working with those individuals to get them to really understand your product, to get behind your product. So think about how you're going to train and encourage them to keep going. Now, one thing, if you can do it, and it's not easy to do, is go with your Japanese distributor to their buyers. Now, usually Japanese distributors will not ever want you talking to their buyers, because they think you're going to go around them and go direct, and they don't want that to happen. So you may not get anywhere with this idea, but if you can, you say to your distributor, I would like to go with your sales team to your top 20% of the buyers and thank them personally. And I'd like to try and encourage them to place bigger orders with you. Now, they may balk at that and just say, no way, we're introducing it, or they may agree. If they can agree, you will find that is really powerful, because those buyers from your distributor never get visited by anybody. And you turn up as a foreigner and you go around and all you're saying is thank you. Japan is an incredible country. It's a very emotional country in business. It doesn't look like it, doesn't seem like it, but it actually is. And they will feel really something quite touched that you took the time to come and say thank you to them. And they will respond. They will get behind your product if your distributor agrees. Often they won't, but if you can suggest it and try and go around that wall, not because you're going to go around them and dud them. You want to help them to build their business, and that's, you've got to explain that very carefully. I'm trying to help you get bigger orders. I'm trying to help you get more orders. I want to support you. I want to go and thank your best clients, the 20% who are responsible for the 80% of the sales. And I'm not going to go around you, you know. They may or may not go for that, but in the cases I've seen in the past where they do that, really, really powerful. So choose your partner very, very well. Do your due diligence extremely carefully. Support your distribution partner. Think if you can do it yourself, because you'll have more control. And if you are going to do it yourself, then you've really got a fairly deep pockets, because Japan is an expensive country. It's got the most incredible infrastructure. I mean, the trucking of goods across Japan, incredible. Highways everywhere, kilometers of tunnels through major mountains. It's amazing. Bridges, they've got, everything you need here as far as infrastructure goes. Fantastic. The trouble is, it's very expensive. I remember, I don't know if it's still the case, but I remember it was cheaper to ship a container from Yokohama to Hamburg in Germany than it was to ship it from Yokohama to Niigata City, which is across the other side of Japan, a few hundred kilometers away. So internal transportation costs sometimes can be a killer. But anyway, it's got a fantastic infrastructure for internal distribution of goods and services. Well, particularly goods, I should say. So it's got pluses there. It's got pluses. Anyway, I hope there's a few ideas for you to think about. I hope that helps. And let's talk a little bit more about doing business in Japan.